Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Growing Clip Bonsai for Seniors. Today is April 24th at 2023. It's Monday. It's 45 degrees Fahrenheit or 7 degrees Celsius. It's about 9:45 in the evening. Today we're going to repot the odd couple, the mangrove, and the junipers that's growing together. Looks like I got two in there. The mangrove, we're going to use unmilled sphagnum moss only. The junipers, Ted's mix. Well, we got to see if there's roots on them. So, sleeves rolled up. And, as always, Tom, you're all discombobulated here. Okay, we got everybody in the row here. So, I forgot to put my ironwood apron on, but let me get my tools out of there. We don't need much. Okay, so I'm going to leave my gloves here because when I do the moss, I'm going to put that on. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take it out. You can see it's dry. So that's why probably the junipers are drying up. Okay, Tom, let's get going here. So let's take our rake. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, our junipers did root. Our mangrove's grown, but no roots. Just like that. It's got some feeder roots, but that's about it. But our junipers, I put my mangrove in there. Look how nice our junipers are. That's why they were starting to dry, because the water. I thought there was, I didn't want to water them too much, but at least the mangrove's growing. So here's the moss I'm going to use. Home Depot. Cheap. I forgot what I paid for it. Used to be $8, it's probably 10 now. Okay, let me take this old soil out of the way so we can get going here. Okay, Tom, okay. Now, I got my two pots here. And I'm not going to cut any of the roots off because I got these training pots. Just going to wet them down real good. If it's too long, no, they'll be good because we want these to grow. I'm not going to cut any of the dead stuff off so we can see what's growing here. I got my Mikus packs up. And who else is here? The straw boss. Kevin is back in the house. Kevin is back in the house. Being a knucklehead. He's got to see what kind of soil I'm using. That's Ted's mix right there. I got screens in the bottom. Even on this training pot that has a screen in there already. But this one with the longer root. See the roots on there? And this was just stuck in there with the mangrove. So, Kevin, this is not your bathroom. Kevin. No, buddy. Your bathroom's in your box, I gotcha. Go on. Come on. Attaboy. Kevin had to inspect the soil. Let me get our Mikus root packs in there. Let's see if you can get it there. Close up our bag. These root packs are pretty good. So let's close that up. So we're going to take this one. I can't believe the nice root system on it. All I did was stick them last year. All I did was stick them and leave them with the mangrove and kept the mangrove real wet. So, they took off real nice. I'm not worried about the location. they're in the side of the pot, the front of the pot. Just as long as I have that on the mucus beneficial bacteria pack. There we go. Let's get this guy. Let's get the roots out real nice. And they'll have a nice little spot to go on. Just to hold them in. I got a new home. They were pretty well dry. I kept misting the foliage. But they took off real nice. I cannot believe it. Okay. So on this guy. There. Just fire in that chopstick. Fire it in, fire it in, fire it in, fire it in. I got the unmilled sphagnum moss. It's soaking in water. I put my aquarium dechlorinator in there. Get all the chlorine and chloramides out and all the other stuff that it takes out. And the best time to repot is early in the morning or late or in the evening after 6. There. This way here the plants get a chance to recover towards the evening, and it's not during the hot parts of the day or in the morning. You get it in, you repot them, it's still cool out, and then you just put them in shade after you get done so they can get used to their new home. Now I got another mangrove, now that I know this is good, with another juniper in there. So we'll see what happens. And we'll get Mr. Elephant out. Water it in real good. Nice and easy. Easy breezy. Now these roots got something to go after. And I got a little thing where they did in one of my nursery magazines, they show the mucus with and without, and you can see the more roots that are growing in cells that they started them in. So that's a good idea. Okay, let's get some more of our mix on the top. Because we're short, I have to show you how to do the mangrove and unmilled sphagnum moss. I learned that from my first mentor was Brian Batchelder. That man was, he was great. He took trees and he showed the same trees that he repotted, the difference in growth in just unmilled sphagnum moss instead of all these fancy bonsai mixes. I mean, well, I'm trying it. We're going to try it on the mangrove. There. Okay. Let's get we can give this a good watering later. Now this trigger was sticking, remember? So what did I put on here? Silicone spray on the trigger. Right on the part that goes in and out. Now look how nice it works. Okay, we got that done. Let's cover up our mix. Ted's greenhouse out in Tinley Park. They got a good cactus mix. That's what this is. So, put these down here. Here's the pot. 3/4 inch Forster bit. I'm going to put it in here. dry my hands so I can get the gloves on. Because I got a lot of cuts on the hands, so don't want to get my hands all discombobulated into the mix. So, unmilled sphagnum moss. This man grew trees and unmilled sphagnum moss only, like you wouldn't believe. Like you wouldn't believe. And the best thing to do is get off all. You can see the roots starting to grow on this. But you got the main thing is to get most of the soil off. I mean, a lot of the soil off. So, let me get our mix out. That's our unmilled sphagnum moss. We're going to stick it in. Just like that. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing, because it's going to drip. And we're going to put our mangrove right there. Are you going to say, Tommy, you're just going to do it like this? No, no, no. Brian said no, not just like that. Now you got to push it in. You got to push it in. Push. Push it in. Fire them hands into this pot. Fire them in. Fire them knuckles into the pot. Fire it in. Fire it into this mangrove. Fire it in. Fire it in. You got to get this compacted in there real tight. Real tight. Fire it in. Fire it in. There you go. Fire it in. It's the time you mixed too much. No, I didn't. Now you see everybody on the videos where they plant them and they leave them soaking in water, but with this method, we'll see if it grows. It likes wet. But you've seen how it was growing even when it was dry. How dry that soil was. So push it in. Push. 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 This gotta go in. This gotta go in. You gotta really push it in. Push it in. Push. You gotta fire them hands in there. If you got arthritis, this is not a suggested one to do unless you get your grandkids or someone to help you out doing it. This bucket was full of this moss. But as you can see, you have to really pack it in. Pack it in. Push. Get them fingers fired into that pot. Fire it in. Fire it in. Fire it in. Fire it in. Gotta get everything in there. All the air spaces out. Fire it in. Fire it in. Fire. Get that hand in there. Push, 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 push. You don't put no screens on the holes because you want the excess water to drain out. Just like that. Fire it in. Fire it in. You're supposed to be able to pick up the tree if you got it in packed real good, and it'll come right out. Now I got a maple in unmilled sphagnum moss, so we're going to pull that in here. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that one. Just like that. And you'll see how it's growing too. And it overwintered too. And I also did a mini pot with the maple. And that little pot, the maple survived, except when I pulled it out of, because it was buried in the leaves. As I was pulling it out, I broke the top off, but it was still green. So I watered the moss real good. There. Gotta fire it in. Fire it in. Push. push, push. This bucket, I use about a half a bag of the moss just for this pot. Fire it in. Fire whatever you got left in there. Fire it in, fire it in, fire it in. Push, 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 push. His trees, Brian Batchelder, his trees were twice the size, and twice the trunks were twice as thick in unmilled sphagnum moss or long fibered moss than they were in the bonsai mix. His trees developed faster. I'm really pushing it in. I gotta push them fingers in. I gotta fire my thumbs into the pot. Push it. Really don't lay into it. Half a bag gone. That's all that's left. Now we're going to see how the mangrove, if it takes, and it's solid in there. There, we got it packed in good. That's what you got to do. There it is. There's our mangrove. Look at that. So we'll see if it takes in here. You can see the holes, how the moss stays in there. But the main thing is packing it in. You must pack it in. If you don't pack it in that tight, I don't care. We used a half a bag of the moss. I probably could have used a little more in this corner here as I press the sides down. So I think what I'll do, and these are easy open bags, easy open. I'll take a little bit more moss because I got to get it into the corners there. So all you do is take it out and add it in. You say, Tom, that's too much. No, it's not. Once it gets wet, really gonna soak this moss real good. Squeeze it. Make sure you squeeze it. Fire them fingers into that moss. Remember, you gotta fire everything in. When you get that moss in there, you gotta fire it in. Get them sides pushed in good. It's gotta be pushed in good. There. Just like that. And it helps to have a good turntable to get this in there. There. That's our moss. Look how nice that is. Just like that. And then the edges that are low, I'm going to pack it in. Pack it in. Hold that down and pack it in. Pack it in. I probably could have used a smaller pot, but I didn't know how the roots were on this. But I want these roots to fill this up and to get this mangrove to grow. Just push, push. You gotta fire them hands in there. You gotta have strong hands. And if you want to try the method and you got arthritis, have one of your friends that got good hands, or one of your children, or nieces or nephews, or someone that's got good hands to try it out. There. I'm going to pack it. Get all that side pockets out. And I'm going to show you the maple tree once I dig it out. And I'll have to soak more moss in it. I'm going to say, Tom, you're going to feel it in the morning. Hey, I cleaned 2 fish tanks, planted 16 Easter lilies by the church. 2 church fish tanks I cleaned out today. Shopping. Fed the cats, Kevin and the dogs. I mean, I was real busy today. There. Now, this is packed. We got a little more than a half a bag into this. And there we go. Now this I can probably get some moss outside and plant it around here. But there you go. There you go. Give it a try. Well, I'll bring out the mango, what do you call it? Tom, you're losing your mind today. Let me put the cover back on this, so I can fill it up with some more moss and let it soak. And let's put this on the side so I can dump the water out tomorrow. We'll get our trees in. And I had this with aquarium soil growing. So we're going to get these in real nice. They're going to sit in here. And then I'll put them in the shade tomorrow once it warms up a little bit. If it's warm, then I'll put them outside. If not, then I won't. There. Let's take the gloves off. Put them there. Get Mr. Elephant. Mr. Elephant, you got dirt on your nose. And water it in good until it runs out. We got a nice root system on. And I stuck these last fall and just let them overwinter. And the mangrove was sitting in water in that little container because it had no holes in it, as you can see. No holes. So, keep you updated on my mangrove. See how it's going to do. And what are you going to do when you water it? You can either soak it or water it on the top real good. And we'll go from there. I'll have to find some moss outside once it starts to grow, and then I can put some patches on there and make it look a little better. So today is Monday. And what's Monday? It's comedy night. Put on Jack Benny, George Burns and Gracie Allen, Fibber McGee and Molly, The Life of Riley, Red Skelton, and a host of others that I can't remember. The Great Gildersleeves, the Bickersons. Whatever your favorite is, sit down with a cup of tea, relax, and enjoy. It's going on 10 after 9. And do you know where your bonsai trees are at? And this is in the evening. So, we did a little experiment with the mangrove. We're not going to let it sit in water. I'm going to take this out later, because I got no room right now, and I'll dump that water out outside. So you take care, everybody. Have a nice night. Remember, comedy night and a nice hot cup of tea, because I'm going to do that now. And maybe catch up on some of my videos I missed because I was busy all day. You take care, everybody.